Bad snap. Bobble. Scoops up. Here come the Spartans. Touchdown, LSU!
From WDBM East Lansing, you're listening to the Green and White Report, a production from Impact Sports. This is your source for sports news, debates, and more from Michigan State, Detroit, and the rest of the sports world.
All right, let's get to the business. Green and White Report. It's 11 a.m. and it's Sunday, folks. We're always here. Ryan Rabinowitz alongside for the first time in what feels like ever.
It's been a minute.
Julian Mitchell. Welcome back to Studio H.
Thank you, sir. Feels good to be back. It's been a while. I've been road tripping, traveling.
You've been doing some Big J stuff.
Some Big J stuff, boosting the resume, getting some clips,
Not a big deal.
NBD.
Did you miss me?
I did. I miss you every day.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying.
I
miss
see it
you.
in your eyes.
I missed
you're
you every day.
You got a very honest face.
That's why I called you that last Sunday. I called
as Jon.
I needed to check in on you.
Is your alias of Jon?
Yeah,
like
Jon.
You thought you could pull one over on us? I miss nothing. Julian, I'm glad you're back today. Very, very special episode of the Green and White Report today. The 100th, yes, the
Wow.
100th episode of the Green and White Report. Imagine that.
That's amazing. I can't believe we made it this far without getting kicked off the air.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. We did it, man.
Haven't caught a case yet.
We did it. Our producer, Hikaru Kudo, has a great show planned for us today. I have to give him the credit for that. A lot of cool things going on. Obviously, I have to talk men's basketball, folks. Big day today here in East Lansing. Some women's basketball as their season wrapped up. We have a couple special callers calling in throughout the show today. You don't want to miss that. And we will wrap the show up with some best of Green and White Report moments that promise to be hilarious and may make you tear up. And I don't know. We'll see. I don't even know what we got in the best of moments, so I'm excited to hear that too. And we will definitely cover March Madness today the most we can. We got a packed show. We got a lot going on, Julian.
A lot of stuff.
We are at peak March Madness. Some great games on last night.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Can I ask? I didn't get to ask you. How's your bracket doing?
It's not too bad, actually. I think I'm
really?
at so I have like an ESPN bracket pool and then a CBS Sports one. Number 1 in the CBS pool.
Wow.
Number 2 in the ESPN pool. So
how many people are in the CBS pool? Like four?
Yeah,
four
that's a small one. That's a small one with just the homies from high school.
That's fair, man. It's bragging rights. It really is.
Is.
North Carolina was, admittedly, my champion. That hurt. Because they didn't just lose. I mean, that was like that
was not good.
Auburn made a mockery of the Tar Heels. That was sad to watch. But hey, at this point now, we are. We have some bigger fish to fry here in East Lansing. I know we have both of us have a stake in the game. Admittedly, as students for Michigan State. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Before we get going, though, I want to throw the number out: 517-432-3893. If you want to call in and talk some Michigan State men's hoops. Feel free to text in as well. 517-884-8989 is the number to text. All right, let's jump into it. Michigan State Spartans men's basketball defeating LSU in the Sweet 16 on Friday night in Washington, D.C. by a score of 80-63. Aaron Henry leading the way with the scoring for the Spartans with 20 points. Gabe Brown with a 15-point night. Julian, I'll kick it to you first. Thoughts on that game?
Well, for me, it was finally a good start for Michigan State after struggling out of the gates in the last couple of games to get out on a great start. I think it was an 8-0 run, 8-0 score to start that game. It was a great start, and then they looked dominant all throughout the game. And that was, to me, the biggest question in this one, and the biggest question, at least I still had for the Spartans, was if you get out to a great start, can you keep your foot on the opponent's neck and hold it down for the rest of the game? And they did against LSU, and I think a big part of that is that Michigan State showed up, showed out, and got some big performances out of guys that normally don't come that big. But also that LSU they didn't look prepared. A lot of holes in their scouting report, leaving guys wide open, and it was a dominant game for the Spartans.
Yeah, and I think that was coming in what a lot of people thought about this matchup was that LSU was going to simply get out-coached, and I felt the same way too. I mean, there's not enough to say about Tom Izzo, but obviously with the tough situation going on at LSU, with whatever allegations going on, what have you, I think it was a game where Tom Izzo had his team more well prepared to play, and I have to give credit to LSU. I mean, Tremont Waters was lights out. I want to say,
oh my goodness.
I mean I got to look it up right now. I don't want to 23 points. And he and all 23 of his points were noticeable.
He was ridiculous. That guy's end-to-end speed, ability to change gears, change speeds. He was tremendous. That guy, he's going places.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Tremont was tremendous. If we can, I need to get that on a T-shirt.
I like that.
That was great.
That was nice.
LSU Athletics can get in touch with me with that one. I think I'm onto something here. But yeah, back to the game. Like you said, in control for Michigan State from the beginning, which is, I feel like we've seen this team all year in this limbo of you get a hot start, but you drop in the second half, or vice versa. And when they go up 8-0 or whatever it was off the start, and immediately Aaron Henry getting going, that's just, for the confidence, it's huge, because for whatever reason, it seems like every matchup MSU gets into, people find a way to spin it like, this is where they get beat. I think everyone's kind of been in this weird spot of, you don't have Langford, you don't have Ahrens, Ward's banged up, they're bound to lose eventually, but the train just keeps rolling for State. And my favorite part about this game, and I know obviously we'll get into Duke in a second, but Michigan State just seems to find a way to, if one guy's not on, someone else is. In the last game was Aaron Henry and Gabe Brown, which was great to see, especially after all the crap going on between Izzo and Henry and how that got blown up. So in March especially, and we talked before the show, you look at a guy in LSU like Tremont Waters, that's a guy that puts up 23 points and seems like he's automatic all night long. And I don't know if you would agree with me in a sense of that's really, in March, that's what you need. You need a guy who is going to take the ball. And we talked about, Ryan Klein in Purdue, and last night for Purdue was Carson Edwards. But do you buy into that theory of just having that one guy that can shoot is really all you need?
Yeah, you need your consistent key. You need the thing that's going to get the car jump started, that's going to take it places. And for Michigan State, it's been Cassius Winston. And
right.
Maybe he's not putting up the scoring numbers, but his ability to pass, to make easier buckets for everyone else, has been tremendous. And I agree with you that you need that one guy at a certain point. And to me, that's been the question. That's going to continue to be the question until the ultimate answer of a national championship is for Michigan State, because they don't necessarily have that necessary go-to guy.
Sure.
You can try and slow down Cassius Winston. They don't have another guy to go along with them. Because you look at Purdue, Edwards or Klein, either one of those guys can have good games. The game before to beat Tennessee, it was Klein. The game yesterday, although they lost, was Carson Edwards. He was fantastic in that game. They have the ability to go 1-2 punch night in and night out. Michigan State, it's Winston, but then you're still trying to figure out who it's going to be in that next game. And credit to Tom Izzo and the team, because some way, somehow, with all these injuries, they have pulled more out of guys who you would not expect. I mean, Aaron Henry to show up like that, Gabe Brown to show up like that, Thomas Kithier to give you what he gave you those last 5 games of the regular season.
Absolutely.
They are just really pulling at weeds here and finding gold.
Yeah, and I back to on that Cassius Winston point is obviously we sound like a broken record. He's been the guy all year. He's been one of the best players in college basketball, period. 8 assists and 17 points for him against LSU. I don't know if I'm crazy. I heard the stat that he had 17 points after that game, and I was like, where did they come from? It just seems like, I don't want to say that saying Cassius was a non-factor is a belligerently grotesque statement to make on the air. But it just seemed like he kind of, I don't want to say hid in the shadows and like his sneaky 17 points, but like we said, I don't think he stole the show against LSU. I really don't. It was hard for him clearly to get penetration, and I feel like, I mean, you have so many big athletes on LSU that, it's understandable, but I think that's one of the things where you have to look at Michigan State and go, wow, even on a night where Cassius wasn't really Cassius, in a sense of, I don't think he was taking the game over like he usually does. Of course, he's always, he's pretty much guaranteed to give you 1 or 2 big shots. But, I'm looking at this team, and it seems like it's funny because me and my buddies joke that, Kenny Goins, every other game has to have a bad shooting game.
Yeah.
And it seems like, between him and Matt McQuaid last game only having 6 points, Kenny had 6 points as well. It seems like we haven't seen this team in the tournament have all your guys, and by all your guys, I mean, even if you want to go starting 5, between Cassius, McQuaid, Henry, Tillman, and Goins, it seems like they all haven't clicked at the same time. And I guess if we want to move into the Duke game now, which if you haven't been paying attention to the television for the past 3 weeks, this is the game. This is the game.
The matchup.
This is the matchup that why State fans were up in arms about having to potentially see Duke in the Elite Eight, thinking that the seeding was off. This is it. We're here now. Michigan State taking on the 1-seeded Duke Blue Devils today, 5:05 p.m., not 5:04, not 5:06, 5:05 p.m.
There we go.
In the Elite Eight. Duke coming off of that 75-73 win over Virginia Tech. So back to my original point here. Is this the game that Michigan State has to bring all 5 guys to the court today? Or do you think it's sustainable for them to have Cassius does his thing, Kenny puts up points and everyone else just kind of disappears? What do they have to do today?
I think you have to reach peak performance at a certain point. And I'm not going to say that it has to be this game, because I think Duke is very beatable, and I think it's possible to have a game like this last one against LSU and still come out with a win, albeit a close win. But peak performance has to be there at some point. I think, to me, that is the only way that you end up winning the national championship, is you have to get all the ducks in a row. And not everyone has to be perfect. I mean, Matt McQuaid doesn't need to be a 15-plus point scorer. Kenny Goins doesn't need to have 15-plus points. But they need to be consistent. They need to knock down more than 2 shots. Kenny Goins 2 of 10 from the field. McQuaid 2 of 6. There just needs to be a little bit more efficiency from them. A couple more knockdown 2s. Aaron Henry has to be aggressive. Gabe Brown has to knock down his 3s when he's in the game. It just needs to be a more all-around, well-oiled effort. Because I think that's what's been happening, is a lot of the holes the Spartans have shown are being covered up in these games. Bradley, the second game after that, I'm blanking on who they play now. It was
Minnesota.
Bradley to Minnesota. There we go. My goodness.
I forgot the game, too. It seems like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, but Bradley to Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota, 22 turnovers in that game, but the holes are uncovered because Minnesota just wasn't that great offensively without Jordan Murphy. You dominate on the glass. And in this game against LSU, McQuaid and Kenny Goins have terrible shooting nights, but you get enough from Aaron Henry and Gabe Brown that you blaze right through it. There has to be something where you're not saying the Spartans won, but they had this, which could hurt them.
I want to focus in on Duke because obviously, the talk around East Lansing and even in just the world of sports is, and I will tell you very blatantly, I am really sick of hearing about Zion Williamson. And he is a tremendous generational talent, athlete, basketball player, but my Lord, man, I mean, night in, night out. You can't even watch another game without hearing about Zion. It's unbelievable. And the reason why it's frustrating is because the reason why I feel like Duke is looked at as this big, bad beast of a team is because of this one player. And you watch a ton of college basketball. I watch a ton of college basketball. And the word being thrown around, especially after Duke escaping 2 close games they probably should have lost, is unbeatable. Whether it be you can't beat them because they have Zion, or you can't beat them because they have the 3-headed monster of Zion, Reddish, and Barrett, or because of you've seen how lucky they've got in the last 2 games. This is just the team of destiny. So do you think this team is unbeatable?
No, this is a very, very beatable. They're not a good basketball team, first and foremost. They can't shoot the 3. They're 32% on the season from beyond the arc. Trey Jones, although he had a 5 for 7 night in their last game against Virginia Tech, he probably won't do that again. They just don't shoot 3s well. They're a paint-oriented team. And to me, at least, R.J. Barrett, he's an inefficient scorer. He's not that great with his right hand. He's very clearly a dominant left-hand player when driving to the rim. Zion's the guy that is just hard to contain. He's going to get to the rim no matter what. His ability to contort his body in the lane, to finish through contact is uncomparable. I mean, that's the thing that makes them so hard to beat, is there's just so much talent. They don't necessarily execute and play it all that well, but when it comes down to it, it comes down to brass tacks, and you're looking at your guy who's guarding Zion Williamson, it's hard to defend against that. And I think that is what makes them a hard team to knock out, is they just have so many guys who they're better than the other guys you have on the floor.
Who on Michigan State, in your opinion, is the most important player on the floor? Is it Cassius again? Is it simply this has been your guy all year long? You need Cassius to do Cassius? Or whoever Izzo puts on Zion, which I have to believe would be, in my opinion, would be Kenny Goins. That if I'm putting a guy, if I'm D'ing up Zion Williamson with Kenny's length and his ability to defend the rim, I put that's who I put on Zion. Maybe you just, I know you kind of smirk, like I think you think I'm crazy.
No, it's not even the matchup. It's just you would never think those two names go together. Kenny Goins, Zion Williamson. And the scary thing is, and I'm not saying Kenny wouldn't be able to defend well enough, but that is such a talent discrepancy between the two. You're talking about a guy
who's the
who's
walk-on and the prodigy.
A lottery pick to a guy who was a former walk-on, had chances at D2 lesser mid-major schools. And not to say Kenny Goins can't body him up, but that's a tough ask for a guy in Kenny Goins. And that's what I think Michigan State's going to have to do is one-on-one, Kenny Goins may not be able to stop him, but it's going to be the amount of bodies that you throw at him. Kenny Goins, Tillman, Nick Ward off the bench, Thomas Kithier maybe even. It's the plethora of bodies you got to continue to throw at Zion to body him up like that. But I look at the most important players, and I think one is Goins and the other one is Matt McQuaid. I think at this point, you need the guys who have been there for you all season. Winston's going to show up. To me, I've questioned whether he can keep it going for a full 40 minutes after averaging so many throughout the season. Mm-hmm. If he's going to be here against guys who are longer athletic guards, and he's proved me wrong at every point. So I expect him to be there. I know he's going to be there, but it's going to be, can his supporting cast help him out? And that starts, I think, with the senior guard to the right of him, Matt McQuaid.
If there's, as we wrap up this talk here about Duke and MSU, looking at advantages that Michigan State may have over Duke, because I am, like I said, I am really just sick and tired of the Duke this, Duke that, Coach K versus Izzo, whatever the record. I think this is my thing. I'm gonna get up on my soapbox for a second, if you don't mind. Michigan State basketball all year, as you said earlier, Julian, you've proven that without a Josh Langford, who not only is a great basketball player but a great leader of men on your team, you lose Kyle Arns, and the way you lost him, I think, kind of sparked your team to compete at a different level, but also not having him there is obviously tough. Nick Ward's been banged up. You are seeing production on the floor for Michigan State from every area. You watch Aaron Henry have a pretty abysmal game against Bradley, not tremendous against Minnesota. Against LSU, he's lights out. Gabe Brown doesn't see a ton of time all year, lights out against LSU. You've seen games where Matt McQuaid can go out and put up 27 points. You've seen Kenny Goins get hot from three. There are so many areas where Michigan State can beat you, and so many guys that can beat you, in so many different ways you can put the ball in the hole. I think Duke is a straight-up one-trick pony. Feed Zion. It reminds me, you ever see Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Pass to the Italians. Pass to the Italians. It's pass it to Zion all day long. That's what it is. And I know I think you have your own opinion too of where Michigan State is better than Duke, but that's it for me. I think very simply, if you're a Michigan State fan, Duke is ripe for the picking right now. They've escaped 2 games. They should have been out 2 weeks ago or a week ago, in my opinion, Duke. They've escaped it twice. I think they're starting to crumble. And if you're Michigan State, you should be excited for 505 today.
I think you should. This is going to be a great matchup. The thing that it's going to come down to, one, is coaching. Tom Izzo is 1-11 against Coach K in his career. 1-11. He hasn't outcoached Coach K yet. That's part of what it's going to come down to, is who's going to be able to get their ponies in a row, their ducks in a row, have the better game plan, make the better adjustments at halftime, and we'll see what happens at that end. I don't know, man. Like I said, Duke's beatable, but 1 through 5 at talent level is absolutely unbelievable. I think Michigan State has the chance to match up with them. I think Duke has cheated death twice now, but it's gonna be tough. Slowing Zion down is the biggest question. For me, the way you beat this Duke team is you got to make the other guys beat you. If Trey Jones has a career night and you lose, I'd take it, because at the end of the day, Zion's getting his 20-plus points, but you got to make everybody else chip in. It's like playing LeBron. LeBron's going to get his.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure J.R. Smith is off the Henny and misses a couple.
Absolutely. Julian, I have 2 more questions in there. I think you see it in our notes there.
I do.
But we do have some special guests that I promised would get on. This is the 100th episode, and of course, how do we celebrate the 100th episode without bringing on the man that brings the party and has brought the party on this show for years. Davey Segal, welcome back.
The bald eagle.
What's up, party people? How we living?
There it is. Davey, how are you, my brother?
I'm great. I'm actually currently sitting in my rental car in Los Angeles, getting ready to go back home to Washington, D.C., where our Spartans are about to take on the Dukies, obviously. It's a good day to be alive.
It is a good day indeed. And Davey, it is great to hear your voice to celebrate the 100th episode. I do have a question saved for you at the end about this upcoming game, but Julian and I just had a couple things we wanted to run by as we're celebrating this episode. Of course, people, if you've been living under a rock for the last couple of years, Davey Segal, of course, one of the co-hosts of the Green and White Report. Was it for 2 years, Davey? How long were you the co-host?
I think it was officially 1.5 or 2 years. I know I co-hosted with a bunch of different people. It was from Zach Barnes to Matt Micah to you, Ryan. Julian, you made some appearances there as well. I mean, there was just a ton of people that was kind of like a rotating co-host with me. I guess people didn't like me or anything, but it was definitely a couple of years that I was on the mic doing it. But I'm glad that you and Julian now have kind of taken it over and made it like a regular thing, because you might think I'm blowing smoke, but Ryan, I do text you whenever I listen on the podcast app, so I am a loyal listener.
Yes, Davey Segal is still a loyal listener. We do appreciate it, as all of our listeners, if we have any other than Davey.
I hope so. I assume.
Davey, you just mentioned all the great guys that you've co-hosted with and the time you spent on the show. So I have to ask, do you have a favorite memory from being a co-host?
See, I knew you were going to ask me this question, and I was thinking about it as I was driving here. I don't know if I have one specific memory. I think more so it's just kind of a hodgepodge of things. You know, obviously the show now is at 11 Eastern, but before it was at 10, and you would get up early on a Sunday, probably around like 8:30-ish, wake up, get out of bed like half alive, stumble into Holden Hall, get downstairs. I didn't really drink coffee, so I was just kind of waking up, try to wake up, slap myself in the face. And then it's just the different people that kind of came in slowly, steadily, that are all feeling the same thing. I mean, let's get to the point, folks. We're in college, all right? It's a weekend. Saturday nights are fun at MSU, all right? So a lot of people went a little too hard at Rick's or Harper's the night before, which is good. That's what we like. It makes for great radio. So
Sure.
I don't know if I have one specific memory. I do think that it's just so fun to be around a bunch of people that are working on the show. You know, we had Wilner as the producer for all of my 4 years as I was working on the show. It was just so fun to joke around with everybody from Micah to Barnes to Wilner to Ryan Cole, of course, Kyle Turk, Zach Swieciki, and you guys too. I mean, everybody in between. I think it's kind of cliche to say, but you're only as good as the people around you. And when people would tune in and say, oh, hey, you're really good at this radio stuff, I would always say, look, I don't really think so. It's literally just me having a conversation. Other people push the buttons, and it's the people that I'm surrounded with that make it a great show. So I know that's kind of a long-winded way of not answering your question, but there's some other funny things that I can tell you off air that are some of my good memories.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, man, you hit on it there with just all the people that come through. And my question for you, seeing all those people come through, all those new voices hop on the show, for you, what's been kind of the best thing or your favorite thing that you've seen, and how you've seen not just the Green and White Report, but Impact as a station, as a studio, the whole sports team just kind of grow through your years here and now out as an alumni, kind of watching us try and do what you guys did?
Oh, you're not trying. You're doing it. You're doing it better than we did it when I was in school, which is weird to say because I'm an alumni now, but that's an aside. I think it's just so cool to see that people at Impact, whether it's women's hoops, hockey, men's basketball, football, anything, you're going to the games. You are broadcasting the games on live radio, right? So when I would tell people that I work for the school radio station, like, oh, cool, do you do play-by-play? I was like, well, not really that simple. There's rights with Spartan Sports Network. By the way, do you know Ryan Cole interned there? I don't know if you knew that.
Oh,
wow,
no way.
no.
That's news to me.
Crazy.
Huh.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. Breaking news here on the Green and White Report, 100th episode. But it's just cool because you guys are actually doing it now. Like when I was there, we didn't have the right to broadcast the games live on radio, and now you guys are broadcasting football, basketball, baseball, like hockey, all these things. You're doing it. Before, we would do it for practice, and we would be ready when our number was called. And now your number is called consistently every single day, game after game, and you guys are killing the game with it. So to see you guys actually doing it in real life and traveling to these places, I mean, I know you got Kyle and Joey and some other people that are in the nation's capital right now. right in my backyard. I'm sad that I wasn't able to meet up with them because I'm on the other side of the country. But it's just so cool that you guys are doing it. And it's funny, like people always say, "Oh, you're covering NASCAR all over the country. You're living your dream." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot more to accomplish and a lot more to go, but I would not be doing what I'm doing now without getting up at 8:30 on those Sunday mornings and going to the Green and White Report and learning what I learned now." So it's definitely cliche to say, but I think being a part of this show is a blessing.
Davey, we have one last question for you. And as you know, here on the Green and White Report, we are always crunched for time. There is never enough time.
Always.
We're trying to get it. We're trying to get 2 hours, Davey. We're trying our best here. So
oh yeah, keep dreaming.
We're trying our best. But you are an MSU alumni now, and perhaps one of the most spirited MSU alumni that exists on the planet. So, in the spirit of the game today, we have to ask: can you please give us a score prediction of today's matchup?
He was on Impact Zone, so he's an expert too.
This is true. You were an Impact owner.
I know you were going to ask me for a score prediction, and I was actually thinking about that on the way here, too. So I know you're crunched for time. I'll try to make it quick. My roommate's senior year had a running joke, and still have it, that whenever I go to a game alone, without them, MSU loses. I went to 2 football games this year, caught L's. Went to the basketball game against Indiana, the second one, caught L's. And whenever I go to a game alone, me and Ryan Cole went to the Syracuse game last year. Of course, that was different to cover the event, but MSU also lost that game. So they're joking, get as far away from DC as you can. I'm like 20 minutes away from the game. So I'm like, all right, cool, just hop on a flight to LA, no problem.
Perfect.
Okay. I'm hesitant to give you a score prediction because I'm afraid that it's going to jinx them. With that being said, I was listening to you guys at the end of your guys' last segment talking about Zion. See, here's my thing. I think Michigan State right now, they are clearly the better basketball team, and they're playing better ball than Duke right now. But it's something about 1-11 versus Coach K. I cannot get over that. I've seen MSU play Duke a couple times in person, and I've seen Duke and Coach K's scheming offensively and defensively just stifle Michigan State and stifle Izzo. But Izzo this year, I think, has been a little different and better in adjusting in-game. That's something that I've been very critical of him in the past on Impact Izzo. So that being said, I'm sticking with my gut. I'm going with my head, not my heart. I'm sorry, boys. Duke's going to win this one. It's going to be a close game. I'll go 76-73. The Blue Devils squeak it out.
It hurts to hear, Davey, but I understand.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm literally wearing my MSU basketball shirt right now. I got my MSU duffel bag and my MSU backpack and my MSU loci on, okay? So don't say that I'm not a loyal Spartan.
And I assume it is shorts weather.
I mean,
what is it not shorts weather?
It is always shorts weather
gosh.
for Davey Segal. All right, folks, you heard it there from Davey Segal. Duke's winning this one. So you can feel free to tweet at Davey Center, correct, Davey?
Yes, sir. That's me.
Davey's got a lot of cool stuff going on.
Give him a follow.
Give him a follow.
I can't remember the name, but he just did a really great interview for I think it was NBC Sports Washington with one of the great NASCAR drivers. I can't remember the name. I'm sorry, but shout out to you, man.
You're good. That was 2017 champ Martin Truex Jr. It was really cool. It should be up next week at some point. It was really fun. Awesome.
I've always said that Davey has a face for television.
He
no
does.
one else has said
He's
that besides me.
Beautiful human.
Like. He
beautiful
is
human.
Gorgeous.
Ryan Cole would disagree strongly.
That's all right. Don't listen to Ryan Cole. What does he know?
He just interned at Spartan Sports Network.
Yeah, no big deal. Davey, I'll tell you what, man. It was incredible to hear your voice, and obviously we're beating the dead horse here. Julian and I have a lot of our, if you could call it, success here on the show. All thanks to you and many other people as well. Some of which you will hear from later today. So, Davey, take care. Go green, my friend. Enjoy the game today.
Love you, fellas. Keep grinding. Go white.
That was Davey Segal, folks. What a guy.
That's the man. That's the man right there. The man, the legend, Davey Segal.
11:30. We're rolling here, folks. We got a lot to do today. So back to Davey's point there. He goes Duke 76, MSU 73. I mean, I guess can you justify that in your head? Can you see that happening today? I don't think it's ridiculous to assume that would be the outcome.
100%. I think the less likely outcome is that Michigan State wins this game. I think, like he said, that 1-11 blemish is the biggest thing that haunts this game. Is Tom Izzo going to be able to outcoach, to outduel Coach K in this one? The schemes Coach K has come up with has really stifled Michigan State in the past, as Davey said. And the one thing that I don't know if it should be, it's I guess worrying for Michigan State is LSU at times I think had an effect on Cassius Winston. I think what they did hedging on ball screens. Tremont Waters was great. Skylar Mays. They got up in the grill of Cassius Winston. And as much as he is a non-shooter on the offensive end, Tre Jones is one of the best defenders in the country. And it'll be very interesting to see how Duke and Coach K really draw up their ball screen defense using Tre Jones and some of the length they have with Barrett and other guys. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think LSU kind of gave some thoughts of what can happen there.
I think that record against Coach K obviously is, I think, what scares a lot of people. But if anything, in my opinion, I mean, to be 1-11, I mean, hey, this could be win number 2 today.
That's true. That's a lot of L's though.
It could. I know it is. Trust me. I'm very scared about that record. But as Davey said, but hey, if you don't mind, Julian, I got another special guest I'd like to bring on the show today. And we just had
this is awesome.
We just had former co-host Davey Segal, so why not Davey's counterpart, Mr. Jon Simon?
Wouldn't be right.
Jon, good morning.
Morning, fellas. Thanks for me inviting on for this big special day. It's 100 episodes?
Yes, 100.
Elite Eight game this afternoon. This is incredible. This is like Christmas.
Can you believe it, Jon? What everyone in East Lansing is rejoicing in the street, like, oh my gosh, 100th episode of Green and White Report. The Elite Eight's kind of an afterthought, but
right, yeah, it's a side act.
Exactly, Jon, how the heck are you?
I'm doing good. You know, I'm happy to be talking to you guys on this nice Sunday morning. We got one last snowfall this winter in Buffalo. We got a nice late March, early April snowfall, but it's all good nonetheless.
There is snow falling in East Lansing. Believe it. Actually, of course you can believe it. It's Michigan. Jon, I want to start off with the same question that I asked Davey, and I know it's kind of a tough question because you were around for a long time as well. Do you have a favorite memory of being a co-host on the Green and White Report?
You know, it was actually, I don't mean to tie Buffalo into it again, but when Davey and I got a chance to interview now former UB head coach Nate Oates, if you guys didn't know, he just headed to Alabama to take their basketball coaching position, but when we got him on, I think it was a week or two after they had pulled off that upset against Arizona in last year's NCAA tournament. I thought that was just a really great interview, and he told us after he really enjoyed talking to us. So, like you said, Ryan, there's countless great memories that I had working with the station, but I think that's one that comes to mind. That was a really cool experience, I think, for me, and I think Davey enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, and similar to Davey, you've been around for a while here at Impact, obviously a host of Green and White Report, and for you, seeing all the bodies, you kind of helped me get my start in the Green and White Report. I remember you sent me the text to come in and co-host with you for an episode. But seeing all the people come through, seeing the growth of the Green and White Report and now Impact Sports in general, what's kind of been the coolest thing being away from it now that you've seen and just watching this place grow?
Well, like you said, Julian, just the expansion, it's been great. I mean, that's when someone like me leaves, when we graduate, we want you guys to grow more. We want you guys to become a more known outlet, and to see you guys go into all these games, traveling so much throughout the basketball season, going to Chicago or Indiana for tournaments, going to road games during Big Ten season. I mean, that's awesome. You guys got to do live football play-by-play this year. I mean, I can't imagine what next football season, what new thing is going to come next. It seems like every single school year now, you guys are expanding to, new levels that when I was a junior, just 2 years ago, I didn't think was even possible. So just to see how far Impact is coming and what steps it's taking year by year to become a bigger thing, I think that's just really, really cool.
Jon, I'm going to do the same thing to you that I did to Davey. I asked Davey for a score prediction for this game. I'm not going to do the exact same thing, but I do want to talk about this game with you because I know you are a Spartan basketball guy through and through.
Of course.
I've been toying with this little headline here, if you can call it a headline. A belief that I have that the winner of this game today in the Elite Eight between Michigan State and Duke will go on to win the national championship. Do you subscribe to that at all?
Yeah, I definitely think I could get on board with that thought, Ryan. I'm in the boat where a lot of people believe that out of all the 1 and 2 pairs, this is by far the best. I don't think any 1 and 2 seed in a region were a combined better two teams than Duke and Michigan State. So to say that the winner of this game is the favorite to win the national championship, I don't think that that's crazy at all.
And you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. John, can I have a score prediction from you, please? I'm going to do it anyway. You're
There you
on the
go.
spot.
You know, I think today Michigan State's going to pull it out. I think that they're going to score. I think that they're going to be able to crack this tough Duke defense. I think we're going to see 81-76 Michigan State.
I'll take that any day of the week and twice on Sunday. And you know what? It's Sunday.
You gonna take it to the bank? You gonna take it to
I'll take it to
Bovada?
the bank. Maybe I don't know. Bovada hasn't been good to me recently. But John, I'll tell you what. Obviously, as I told Daisy, I'm a mess. It's 100 episodes. I'm a mess.
Shout out Daisy.
As we told Davey, you know that we are always on a time crunch here, so we will.
Of course,
we will
know
let
how
you
it
go.
goes.
But I have to say, it was great to hear your voice today, and it just wouldn't feel right celebrating episode 100 without you on here. So thank you for everything that you've done for Julian and I, and for progressing Green and White Report. Obviously, you as well as Davey and many other people were very integral in Julian and I's start here on the show. So it was great hearing your voice. Go Green. Enjoy the game today. It was great hearing from you.
Thank you, fellas. Thanks for having me on once again. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and go White. Let's beat those Blue Devils.
All right. That was Jon Simon, ladies and gentlemen, former co-host of the Green and White Report. I'll tell you what, listening to Davey and Jon was a hoot. Always.
They're fantastic. Those two guys together were the dynamic duo. You're talking D-Wade, LeBron, Miami Heat days.
We're more of like a Porzingis and Nowitzki type thing, even though they haven't played together. But
Yeah,
you know
not
what I mean?
yet. And
We're getting
Porzingis is under some allegations.
Yeah, we're getting there, Julian. We have a great path to follow here. Has been paved by many folks here at Impact. We're getting there. But hey, episode 100, folks. I know we've been talking forever. We're gonna go to a quick break here. Keep it locked and loaded right here. If you want to join the show, feel free to call in 517-432-3893. You can text in as well, 517-884-8989. Follow the show on Twitter at WDBM Sports, #GW Report. We will be right God, I'm a mess. We need to go to a break. Right back, folks. I'm sorry. It's early. We'll see you in a second.
Take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I got the horses in the bag. Horse stock is attached. Head is matted black. Got the bushes black to match.
Welcome back to the Green and White Report, episode 100. You heard it right, 100. Ryan Rabinowitz, Julian Mitchell. Second half of the show here. I had to take a little breather there. I was a mess.
You were breaking down, man.
It was like I needed some WD-40. It was breaking like the Tin Man. I was a mess.
Shout out Daisy though.
I don't know even what was going on. Well, because here's the thing. It's a big day. I'm excited. Episode 100. A lot of cool guys calling in. Got to talk to the old boys. It's all right. I'll be okay.
You'll be fine. Just take a breathe. In, out, you know? There it is.
It's March, man. It'll do it to you.
It's madness.
It is madness. I'll tell you, back to your Bovada comment, I do want to bring it up. Not great for me.
Really?
I know you like following along with like Collins and myself with that thing. Like,
yeah,
it's
it
kind
lets
of like
me. I live vicariously through you guys because I'm too broke to actually go and gamble my money.
It's like a running joke of just how. I mean, I can't speak for Collins. I'm not going to throw Collins under the bus here, but yeah.
I'm assuming he's in a hole.
You have to.
That's
Everyone
a safe
is.
assumption.
And anyone who tells you
That's
they're not in
true,
a hole is a filthy liar. All right, folks. We'll get rolling again here. I do want to throw the number out one more time. 517-432-3893 if you want to call in and chat about some March Madness stuff. 517-884-8989 if you want to text in. We do have that option because it is 2019. Keeping in the spirit of episode 100, I have another very special guest. If you don't mind, Julian, for me to bring on.
No, go ahead. Be my guest.
This man did some time on the Green and White Report as a host / co-host. Former play-by-play director, Mr. Zach Swieciki. Zach, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you two?
So good, Swy. So good. Good to hear your voice. It's been a while, Swy. How are you?
It's been a minute. I'm doing well. I'm trying to survive.
That's good. That's all I can ask of you. Swy, I want to, as I've asked as Davey and Jon today, do you have a favorite memory from co-hosting the show, or I guess just being around the Green and White Report in general?
It might seem like a not so great memory for a lot of Spartan fans, but the morning that the ESPN story broke about, or story quote unquote, the 30 for 30 about Larry Nasser, it was me, Jon Simon, I believe Ryan Cole, and Kyle Turk in studio, and we all came in early to watch that special run on ESPN, and then we proceeded to talk about it for another hour, and we had various guests on, and I think that whole episode was really kind of a first for Impact. I mean, that wasn't exactly strictly sports. That was outside of the realm, and it was something that none of us were really comfortable with, but probably the best learning experience we could have got at Impact.
Yeah, and Zach, you're a former play-by-play director. I got to give credit where credit is due. You kind of had a hand in making sure we got to go live this year with basketball and football games. And man, I just want to ask you to kind of see, you didn't get a chance to see the fruits of your labor and do it yourself, but getting the chance to see us now do what we do, being able to take the Zephyr now and go live from remote locations like Des Moines, Iowa, some of the tropical destinations we get to go to. How cool has it been to just kind of see that all work out? And it's a big credit to you to kind of see that dream come true.
Hey, do you want to rub it in a little bit more in the tropical islands and anything else?
Yeah, tropical in Des Moines, Iowa. Don't worry, you weren't missing out too much.
Exactly. No, it's amazing to actually see it happen. I mean, I know I was on my last episode of the Green and White Report. I was just kind of reminiscing at the fact that when I sat down with my former boss, Marissa Saldivia, she asked me what my goal was, as a director, and I said was to get Impact live because, I talked to all the Big Ten schools and everyone else was live, and I just couldn't stand the fact, and I know Ryan Cole, Kyle Turk, if they're listening, we worked together, worked very hard on it to just be able to set up a meeting, with the MSU Athletic Department just to even have a chance at it and just to see you guys, take it and run with it. Has been great to see, and I know Julian, we still have the message group, and just to see the new headphones and anything small, any small successes, I think is a big win for you guys.
Swy, one last thing here before we let you go, as I've asked the last two guys as well. Obviously a big game today in the Elite Eight, Michigan State and Duke. If you haven't been listening to the show at all or living under a rock, that is happening today. As a basketball guy yourself, if you want to give me a prediction, go ahead. But your thoughts on today's game and Michigan State's chances against Duke? I'm
hesitant to say an exact score. I think it's Duke by 3. I know they're favored by 2. So if anyone's looking at betting with their friends, maybe betting a couple
sure.
picks or something. Obviously,
yes, exactly.
Just for fun. I think Duke by 3. Obviously, I think Cam Reddish and Nick Ward are two factors that are kind of game time decisions as of yet. I know Nick Ward said he's going to play no matter what, but I think, like you said, that the Kenny Goins, Zion Williamson matchup, who thought that was going to happen in 2019? I think that's got to be the matchup. I know Cassius Winston, you guys had a great breakdown of that. I don't know who he guards. I thought the LSU team was going to be a mismatch size-wise. I think Duke is just as much of a mismatch as far as size goes. I think Duke by 3 is my pick. I can't give an exact score prediction, but I think Duke by 3. I think it's going to be close, and I think it's as much of a 50-50 coin flip, if you will, as there will be for Michigan State Duke.
It would not be the 100th episode if we didn't have Swy on. I'll say that.
It's my guy right here.
That is your guy.
Shout out my guy's side. West Side, East Coast. You know what it is.
I love it.
He knows what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Swy, we appreciate you calling in today, man. It was great to hear from you. We do have a lot to do left on the show, so as you understand, we will have to part ways here, but enjoy the game today. Go Green. It was great hearing from you.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
Zach Swieciki, folks, a former co-host of the Green. He did some good time on the Green and White Report. He did a lot of things here, Swy.
He did, yeah.
Start to lose track.
Man's
almost.
a Swiss Army knife. He does everything, a little bit of everything.
I don't know these predictions from these guys. John calmed me down a bit because Davey, Davey hurt me there with that with the Duke prediction.
It's gonna be a good game, man. I mean. Probably not gonna get a chance to hit on everything March Madness, but for me, a lot of people are like, it's been chalk all the way through. And while I do love a good upset, these matchups between powerhouses, this is what you want to see, for me at least. Seeing Duke go against Michigan State, 2 blue bloods fighting for position. This is this is the game I want to watch.
I'm glad that it seemed like last night was the first in the Virginia game was like the first buzzer beater all tournament.
Yeah, I think it was.
Which is like, that's what you need. That's where the one, you can't play the one shining moment montage without at least one buzzer beater moment.
I'll be fine. If they'll add that buzzer beater, and then it'll be a bunch of clips of Collins dancing to the song, because that's all he can do this month.
Did you get that Snapchat
I did
this
get
morning?
that Snapchat,
It was
yeah.
A little disturbing.
It was weird. He looks half out of it, and he's just like, the ball is sit like, yo.
Yeah, like he just woke up. Sorry, Collins. We'll see you soon for the Motown Rundown. One last caller today. In this 100th episode extravaganza, and if you're playing the guessing game at home, I would probably guess that everyone is getting this right of who this person is. Our former sports director, most importantly, our friend, Mr. Ryan Cole. Ryan, how are you?
Ryan, Julian, it is a pleasure to be a part of this 100th episode extravaganza.
Can you believe that? I mean, look, as the former sports director, and you, you were here for, I believe, all 4 years, correct? Not as a sports director, but at least at Impact for 4 years, correct?
Yeah, I was more than 4 years at Impact, that's for sure.
I mean, for you to see, wow, 100 episodes, I mean, what is that like for you as someone who was so heavily involved here, to see, as you've called it before, kind of your baby here at Impact, to see that grow over the years to now, the culmination, episode 100. What's that like?
Boy, if this is the culmination, that's the thing about it, is it just grows, and it grows every week, guys. And that's what's amazing to watch from afar. And, really for me personally, I feel more pride about it because I was part of the development of the Green and White Report. And, we used to have a show called The Pact, and we wanted to kind of breathe some fresh air into it, get some, get more voices on, get some experts on, and just include everybody that we possibly can. I mean, you guys see it now. I mean, it's a amazing thing. I don't know how many guys you have in studio right now, but we top 10, 12 people sometimes, and that's what's amazing about it is, I was part of that process. It took a very, very long time, by the way, much longer than I think anyone could have imagined, with Blake Froling and with Jacob Herbert way back in the day, as we really got this thing off the ground.
Yeah, that's a big credit to you and a big thank you to you. I mean, you call this your baby, and it really is, and the baby is trying to walk now. We're falling a bit. Don't really have our sea legs, but we're trying to walk. So big thank you to you.
You guys are running now, man. This is amazing to watch. I mean, going to these NCAA tournament games, for both the women's and the men's. I was so proud to see the coverage, especially from Notre Dame for the women's tournament. That was tremendous to see, and I know the sky's the limit for Impact Sports.
Yeah, well, hope we can do it. And Ryan, you're a former Impact Is-owner. You were on a couple episodes to start out this semester. You've been watching this team for pretty much all of your life now. You've seen the different iterations. Now, for the first time in 3 seasons, a chance at the Elite Eight, a chance at the Final Four against Duke, though. You look at this matchup, you break it down, you're an expert. Who do you got in this game? What are the keys?
Well, I think, I'm actually surprised to hear people saying Kenny Goins on Zion Williamson, because I thought it was going to be Xavier Tillman kind of try to body him up a little bit. And then once Tillman's out, they try to throw a Nick Ward. And again, it's just try to body him up a little bit, rough him up. And that's I feel like, what Michigan State's going to have to do. Now, look, Zion's going to go out and get his. I think you guys were exactly right earlier in the show. He's going to get his 20, 25 points and everything. But is he going to get that on 8 of 11 shooting or 8 of 21?
Right.
Are they going to make him work for it? And that's the thing, is you got to make him work for it, and then you got to take out the other guys like a Jones, like Reddish if he plays, and of course like R.J. Barrett. And I think it's slow down Zion and try to shut down those guys, because and honestly get them in foul trouble, because Duke is not deep. They play a lot of guys 35 to 40 minutes a game. And if they have to really dip into that bench, those guys aren't really proven for this team. And I think that has to be part of Tom Izzo's game plan is go at some of those guys and try to draw some fouls, get them in foul trouble, and then, that's the game of chess that he has to play against Coach K. With all that talent that they have, you kind of have to play that way.
Now, Ryan, I do have to unfortunately part ways with you here. You know how it is, Ryan. We're crunched for time. Oh, yeah. We're sweating over here. we're trying to figure it out. But Ryan, like Julian said, I mean, as someone is yourself, and I do want to make sure that I mention Brendan Wilner in here as producing the very first episode of the Green and White Report. All you guys that were involved to really move the needle and to allow Julian and I to come in. I am serious when I say it's an honor to be able to do this show every Sunday and to represent Impact and what you guys have done. So we thank you for everything that you have done. As we let you go here, I will give you a go green and enjoy the game today. Try not to get too worked up. I need you to settle in there, remain calm. It's going to be okay.
Guys, it is way more stressful as an alumni, by the way, to watch games. I mean, it does not get any less stressful. By the way, and I have to part with this, congratulations on the MAB award, of course. You guys,
thank you.
You guys do it. And honorable mention for on-air personality. And it was a pleasure to edit that and everything and submit it, and finding Julian a new NFL team. So you guys have an award to yourselves. That wasn't me. It was all you guys. So keep up the great work, and go White today.
Yes, go White indeed. Thank you so much, Ryan Cole.
Thanks, guys.
Of course, our former sports director, Ryan Cole. Great to hear his voice.
Great to hear from him.
Look, folks, we don't have a ton of time left. There's a lot of things we want to do today for episode 100. I will throw it over now to our lovely producer, Hikaru Kudo, has some special things planned to end the show. Hikaru, just to take it away, my friend.
Yes, thank you very much, Ryan Rabinowitz. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, but try to go through those big moments. We got about 10 minutes or so left of the show. We'll see where we go. But first off, this is my first segment on the Green and White Report, so I'm kind of excited. Thanks, guys.
Yes,
I appreciate
no problem.
Of course.
And feel free to comment in from you two as well, just to kind of go through history. But we're gonna go through memory lane. We'll go in chronological order. Some of the best and greatest moments of the Green and White Report, and of course, I have to start with the very first episode, the very first words ever said by Matt Micah and Zach Barnes on the show. Here it is.
What was that? Were we bought out by some new company?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so.
College radio. Big money has infiltrated. Yes, that's right. We are welcoming you to the Green and White Report, Episode 1 on WDBM, The Impact. Exciting times. There's your new intro. I mean, we will be your new talk show for everything Michigan State sports. Detroit sports. The intro said it all.
Get excited.
I recognize that
Get
voice
excited.
somewhere. I'm not sure where. It must be like some Hollywood person or something.
Yeah.
And what's funny is we still use the same intro from that very first episode.
It's classic.
It is. We haven't touched it.
We can't get rid of it. We can't.
Same studio, same everything. We still hear Ryan Cole every single Sunday morning. It's great. But, then we got to skip a little bit in this timeline of history because I didn't have access, unfortunately, to any episodes. But we skipped to episode 39. So this is when Davey comes in. We had him on earlier. And apparently Davey's grandparents came into town, and they were in the studio. So first off, let's take a quick listen to that, shall we, if it'll play.
Whole lot more. Brendan Wilner making his return, producing for us behind the glass. My grandparents, all the way from Connecticut, in the studio as well. Shout out to them.
And I thought, the only reason why I played this is I thought it was cute. I thought it was cute how Davey brought his grandparents.
It is adorable.
And
I love the little in the background.
Yeah. Whoever that was.
You know what I mean? All the little, it was just cute. I thought
adorable.
It was just cute. It was
all the Segals are great people.
It was just adorable how they brought, their grandparents, his grandparents in, and it was cute. I just thought it was a great,
I like it.
Little moment here. And apparently now, this computer is not wanting to cooperate with me, which is great. But so I guess while I try to fix that, gentlemen, any great moments do you guys want to reflect back to?
Good question. Great moments. I feel like I'll say this. I don't know. I'm curious as to when you and I what episode we started on. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even have a guess. Is the what we'd have
could
to
do a deep dive.
You
while we
think
talk
that
here.
you think that's something that like we would have thought of to look up before the show, but
I'm sorry, we don't remember our own anniversary.
yeah, that is. Yeah, I like that. I like that. The anniversary of when we started the show here. You know what? I will along the trend of what was said in the past. And I don't mean to just drag this on, but for me, it's just I think every Sunday gets better and better, and I think some shows run smoother than others, and we have our share of difficulties and times when I forget how to speak English.
Happens quite a few times.
Happened today, but. I mean, all the guys that have come through here, and you know, Julian, when you and I were doing this first semester, and then we see some new faces come in second semester. We got guys doing updates, guys reporting on their beats, and to see the hard work that they do, and I think this show, the Green and White Report, again, as you give credit to guys like Ryan Cole and Brendan Wilner for creating this, and Matt Micah and Zach Barnes, the first host of the show. It's just something that the platform we have here on live radio, live college radio, and someone for me, who if I've said it once, said it a million times, not in the broadcasting journalism world, just a guy that loves to talk sports, and that's who everyone here at Impact Sports shares that. And so to kind of see this as being the framework or the foundation for all these cool things we get to do here, it's amazing. I will say, I mean, I know it is pretty easy for us to go back. I love the Christmas specials that we were doing.
I'll get to that. We're going through some history.
That was that's always fun. That was a good time. Finding your new football team was legendary too.
That's a really good one. And that one, I mean, I hate to toot our own horn, but that put something on the shelf there.
Yeah,
in terms of an award.
We got some hardware. We get to polish up some hardware.
And I think that's one of the things that I love about this is that it's 100% you and I and Hikaru and everybody else who wants to help and chip in, but it's what we create and what we do. And that finding an NFL team was just a random idea we had while shooting the crap on a Wednesday meeting, and it somehow turned into an honorable mention MAB award. And I love the fact that we get to do that we get to sit around, talk sports, and somehow that ends up in accolades, and who knows if people listen, but people listening.
And we're hungry for more. Honorable mention was not. We still here.
We ain't over yet.
Hey! I think you guys got a lot more great moments going on, but it looks like the computer's cooperating with me about. But first off, thanks for sharing that with us, guys.
Of course.
I want to get serious. So right after Davey's grandparents visited, that was when Nasser stuff came out. So it was about a year ago now, and I think. They did a great job back in the day handling it, and it's a part of Green and White Report history that we reported on. So I just want to play a clip of that real quick.
So let's jump right into it, Larry Nasser, and I want to preface this entire conversation by saying this to all the listeners out there. We are students here at Michigan State University. We also work for a radio station that is contracted by the university. Now, we're not going to come out here with spitting hot fire takes. What we're going to do is we're going to try our best to report the facts. We're going to give our opinions like we always do on this show and be our normal selves.
And I think that was just great. I think that was just great how they handled it at the time. And the professionality that they brought to it. And I mean, it really was. I mean, you just got to be your normal selves, and you got to report on the facts and voice your opinions. And I think it was an important time for Michigan State history and the community as a whole. We got shaken up a little bit as a community, but what this show did during that realm, I think, was very important. And I wanted to bring that up. That was an important moment in our history.
Indeed.
As well. 8 episodes later, 48. Davey and Jon did something very interesting in March Madness last year. Let's take a quick listen, shall we?
Hello and welcome to the first ever Impact Sports Radio, the Green and White Report, and Impact is on March Madness Extravaganza
show.
See, that's how pumped we are about it. Davey Segal.
Bada bam, bada boom.
My favorite part of that, bada bing, bada bam, bada boom.
That is just classic Davey.
That's just Davey.
That's
at
like
his finest.
Davey gets like one of those moments in a show.
And I wish I knew Davey in person, man. I wish.
You
I
guys
wish.
should hang out.
We
We'll
should.
set-
We
we'll
should. I
set
got
that
his
up.
number now.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, if you're listening, give me a text. Let's chill.
Yeah, Carl's gonna text you every day for the next 365
Carl's
days.
gonna hit you with that "you up" text.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Yeah.
So then we go another week, episode 49, just a shy of episode 58. This one, I'm just gonna let this one play without any context here.
This is not a joke. 2-hour Green and White Report special this Sunday
Gotta
morning.
love it. Gotta love it. I'm so pumped.
Be a real shame if that was actually true.
Yeah.
Happy April Fools.
We got you.
And I think it's funny because I think it's funny because it was an April Fool's joke, and now it's partially true. We got some special 2-hour editions.
That's true.
This isn't one of them, but
Unfortunately.
no, unfortunately. But eventually, we're hoping to get that 2-hour episode running through by the fall. But I think it's just funny how we went from joking around that we wish we had a 2-hour show to now partially becoming a reality.
Indeed.
You know, but moving on forward, this is the first time I was able to find, Ryan, that you were on the show.
Me?
Yes, and you were blessed. You were blessed about something.
This is gonna be cringy to listen to.
He's always blessed.
You were blessed about
I'm
something.
always blessed. I'm blessed. Look at the light shining down on me now in the studio. I'm always blessed. The light came through the window.
So here's what you were blessed about this day.
I'm just so happy to be here with you, Kyle.
Oh my God.
That's my final takeaway.
That's
I'm
something
blessed.
else.
Hashtag blessed. Truly blessed. That's so gross. What's wrong with me, man?
My man sounded like he was gonna cry in the studio.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
truly
just so
blessed.
blessed.
I'm truly
Thank
blessed.
you for having me.
Wake up, Rabinowitz.
Now, unfortunately, Kyle Turk couldn't join us today because he's in Washington, D.C. with Joey Ellis and Joe Dandrian. We'll throw a quick word in there. Turk Ellis live on call here on Impact 89 FM in the greater Lansing area at 5 p.m. Eastern Time from Washington, D.C. Rabinowitz, I think this is a part what's so special about you. And I've known you since high school.
Yes.
We went to the same high school, went to Nova High School, go Wildcats.
Go Wildcats.
And being on the show together.
Get your head in the game.
Yeah, get your head in the game.
And Rabinowitz never takes us for granted. Every episode I've ever heard this guy talk, he never takes us for granted. And I think that's what's so special about Ryan Rabinowitz. And that's why I think it's so... I think that's why it was so fitting that was in there. So just wanted to say that really
I ain't crying, man. I got allergies. There's dust in here. Thank you, Akaru.
Of course, man. It's my pleasure. 10 episodes later, 66. Now, apparently, according to SWI, Canadians are worth 2 American people. Here's what I mean.
We've got Noah Goad here.
I mean, I think Noah counts for 2 since he's coming from Canada. And
right, that's
and the
that's
U.S.
my logic.
dollar is devaluing so much. I mean, he's basically worth two Noahs at this point.
Yeah, so we've got 1.5
sure
American people.
And I didn't get. I honestly don't get what the heck they were talking about.
Who knows?
That's just SWI and Turk for you. So apparently, if we ever have Canadians, they're worth more than any of us. I'm Japanese. I don't know if that means something, but I don't know how that fits into the formula. But I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna quantify that.
5 episodes later, this is a Ryan Cole moment. Just a throwback to the Ryan Cole glory days, because we miss him.
What is up, my wonderful people in East Lansing? It's a great morning. Happy Sunday. I'm Ryan Cole alongside Julian Mitchell here for the Green and White Report.
was
Oh,
that?
my goodness. We are out here, and it's just a beautiful day. What do you think, Julian?
And I don't know. That was just it was nostalgic for me. It was nostalgic for me.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
Gee,
Exactly.
What was that noise coming out of my mouth?
It's okay.
I don't know.
I liked it.
Jeez.
Couple episodes hopping. We're running out of time here, but a couple episodes hot. Julian, this was a moment from you. It was you answered the question, why do you do the Green and White Report? I think this was a great moment.
I am absolutely fantastic. It's another Sunday here in the studio with you, and it's absolutely fantastic. My friends ask me, why do you wake up so early in the morning on Sundays? I'm like, well, part of it's because it's the Lord's Day, but the other part is because it's Green and White Report Day, and that is why I wake up on Sunday morning.
And I thought that was just great. I think that was just great. You just answered on the show itself. I mean, and Julian, I know it's still true to this day. You still enjoy coming on to this show. I, as a producer myself, I'm blessed to be working with you and Rabinowitz.
Thank you.
Thank you. We try. We try
The
to
feeling
make
is
it
mutual.
a good workplace here, good workplace environment.
And this bite just stuck with me. And I was just told by Luke Sloan that we're running out of time. So, all right. So, unfortunately, we had to cut it short on our live broadcast. But Ryan Rabinowitz, Julian Mitchell phenomenally agreed to stay on and give their reactions for the rest of these fine moments from the Green and White Report.
It's all for the kids. I do it for the
Yeah,
children.
I do it for the kids, you know.
And I got to thank you guys. I put some blood, sweat, tears into this. So, and I think these are some fine moments and reflections of the current era of the Green and White Report. So we'll stop by to episode 75 now. 25 episodes ago, this is when the time slot changed to the current 11 a.m. slot. If you folks don't know, Green and White Report originally started at the 10 a.m. time slot.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Thank God that we changed that.
So now, now Rabinowitz can pick. Rabinowitz can pick Julian and I up at 10:15 instead of 9:15. And folks, if you're a college kid, that changes everything. But anyways, here's that first episode.
Gentlemen, good morning. Good morning, East Lansing. Welcome to the Green and White Report in a new time slot, 11 a.m. Just a little bit later, Hope you're tuning in and getting your Sunday off to a great start with us here on the Green and White Report. I am Ryan Cole, not Ryan Rabinowitz. Us Ryans, we are interchangeable, so we can kind of be called in whenever needed. And I was needed today. So Ryan Rabinowitz, we love you, man. Hope you're doing well. And he's fine. Yes, he's doing fine. He's doing fine.
So not only was it the first...
What was I doing?
I don't know.
That was adorable. Like, I appreciate it, but I don't know what I was doing. It sounded like my life was in danger.
Well, that's exactly why it was funny, because Rabinowitz, of course you were gone for a historic moment of the show, of course.
Typical me.
Yeah, typical Ryan Rabinowitz. And then B, how Ryan Cole made it sound like Rabinowitz was dying in the hospital.
Yeah, I'm okay, though. I'm still here. I feel good. I feel great, actually.
Well, I'm glad you feel great.
Thank you.
Of course, we wouldn't be doing this, but 7 episodes later, 82. If you folks have been tuning in for the past 3 weeks, Ryan Collins, who's now in the studio for us, not on a mic, just chilling on his phone, he has been filling in for our fellow co-host, Julian Mitchell. Now, many of you may have thought that this practice started just 3 episodes ago when Ryan chose, Rabinowitz chose, oh, Ryan Collins, this is awesome. And then Julian's like, yeah, cool. No, this started back in episode 82. Back in episode 82.
Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. Lots of food and some great Lions football to watch. Always a pleasure. Ryan Rabinowitz here with, Julian, you look different today.
Yeah, I'm definitely not Julian.
This is Ryan Collins.
Who are you?
Well, to answer your question, young child from Vine, this is Ryan Collins. Ryan, say hi to the people.
Hello, people. Thank you for having me, Ryan.
Oh, you're so welcome. I just, I couldn't think of anyone better to fill Julian's shoes today.
How about that Lions team, though?
And it was pretty nice. I remember being in the studio for that one. And of course, Collins being one of the guys on the Motown Rundown podcast, which you guys are going to record right after this.
Thank you for the plug.
Of course, you're welcome. Of course, Collins being one of the, guys on the Motown Rundown, he talks straight away about Lions, and I get it. It was Thanksgiving and everything, but I thought it was just funny how he's like, yeah, thanks for introducing me. Okay, what about those Lions, before anything else?
Yeah, it's kind of how Collins works. He's
Yeah.
not a nice guy.
Who
He
else-
never asks, how are you?
Who
It's
else
just
but
straight to
Collins?
business.
Exactly. So there's a reason why Collins replaces, or I should say subs in for Julian
Yeah, I was
Mitchell.
gonna say, it's a sub.
It's a sub.
There is no replacing.
I came out the
Juju.
game because I had cramps. He's the 11th man off the bench.
Load management. Julian on a load management schedule.
So, episode later, 83, Julian's back. I remember this episode very well. I helped produce it. Christmas time. You guys remember earlier we talked about
I remember
the Christmas
Christmas.
music? Yeah. It was Christmas music time. We did a top 5 Christmas song list from both of you guys. And Julian brought one of the greatest Christmas songs of all time. I think you guys remember this. Let's take a listen.
We're now moving into number 3 for Julian.
Yeah, little modern song. There we go. There we go.
What is this? Is this a Christmas song?
Still asleep, I'd rather open presents with you.
Your face right
Who is
now?
this? Is this a Christmas song?
This is a Christmas song.
Who is this?
This is Chance the Rapper.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
There it is.
I'm baffled. Your 3 and 4 choices are just off the rails. This show has gone off the rails now.
You
I
gotta
can't
switch it
believe
up. Everyone's gonna give you the same old all-time Christmas songs. I'm giving you what really makes my heart go ba-dum-ba-dum-bum. You know what I'm saying?
Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum.
All right.
This right here.
I kind of rock with it.
It's nice. Merry Christmas, Lil Mama.
Kinda rock with
Disc
it.
1
Christmas, Lil
and
Mama.
Disc 2.
Okay. Is that a whole
Get that for
Christmas
yourself.
album?
Whole Christmas
Wow.
album.
I love it. Okay.
Man, that was one of my favorite moments from you guys.
That's a classic.
Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum.
That's a classic.
You were a mess during that show. Your song choices were out of control.
Yo, people give you the standard things. I'm giving you what you really need.
Yeah, I did
Oh,
that.
man.
I like that song. I'm glad I got to hear it today.
And I remember after this episode, that was literally the talk of the week. I mean, that was the
Yeah.
talk of the week, how Julian brought a Chance song, and it's like, yeah, you hear about this Christmas song? And man, oh man, that was great. It was just a great moment, great song. Julian, I still thank you for bringing this song into my life and every listener's life ever.
Hey, you're welcome, man. I do what I can for the kids. I try and give gifts. You know, it was a Christmas season. And I'm glad I could bless your life with that. I feel like you needed it at that point in time.
You did. You blessed my life. But, you know, the other thing is what's interesting, and this was an argument that's probably going to come back on in the fall again. But,
Probably.
Julian, you had this big thing about no Christmas music until after Thanksgiving.
That's facts. That's just a true statement right there.
And you were so passionate about not playing Christmas music after Thanksgiving. It became like a running gag, and it was great. It was just great because every single episode, Ryan's like, come on, Christmas music. And Julian's like, no, not yet. It ain't Thanksgiving yet. You know, while we're listening to Christmas music on the way here to Holden.
I still hold that argument to be true.
Well, coming in Ryan's car, I don't touch another man's radio, so I let him play what he wants to play. But there are a few things I'm passionate about. It's Christmas music after Thanksgiving and that Ryan Collins looks like a homeless man.
Game recognized game.
Two things that I'm passionate about.
Woo, boy.
And also, Trent has the best facial hair in the game.
Okay, that's
Best
hurtful.
shoe game.
I second that.
That's hurtful.
Couple episodes later, episode 85. This was the one that won honorable mention, the MAV Awards. Find Julian an NFL team.
Collins didn't help with this.
Yeah.
He did. Ryan Collins did. Shout out to him as well.
He really did.
And I thought this was a great concept. I mean, and who better to explain this than Ryan Rabinowitz himself?
Julian, it is time to find you a new team. I have my highlighter, my
let's go.
Sharpie,
I'm
black
ready.
pen, blue pen, red pen, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
This is
You were
intense.
wild.
Ryan
Sweating.
Collins and I are going to grill you with a series of questions. We are going to find you a new NFL team right now. My adrenaline is through the roof right now
Let's
with this
go.
music.
Okay, you ready?
Go ahead. Let's
Ready,
do it.
Ready.
And that was awesome. You folks can take a listen to that online at impact89fm.org/sports. But that was an absolute awesome segment.
That was great. That still produced one of the greatest sound bites of all time.
Yes.
When I said a penguin was my favorite animal, and Ryan Collins continues to go, Happy Feet is one of the worst movies of our generation.
Yeah. Of course, the segment
Yeah,
got
he
away
leaves.
from us there.
I mean,
classically.
this was by far one of the most entertaining moments between the two of you. I mean, and plus Ryan Collins. I mean, I absolutely love this. I mean, the passion the two of you had, plus Collins had, I mean, it was absolutely stunning, and I worded it beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. No doubt this won an award. And I'm certain there's gonna be more moments like this in this show
I
for the
hope.
next 100. I hope so as
People
well.
will stop listening.
Yeah, we're going to try. We're going for that Jordan 6 rings.
Yeah.
Next up, 8 episodes later, we're heading into the 90s. We're almost there. Episode 93. So a new concept that I brought on. You guys remember when we started doing the Jam of the Weeks,
Yes.
right? And you guys like loved it, and I was like super pumped about it.
Yes.
What's the first episode we did this in? So let's take a quick listen.
Green and White Report coming back at you. I like this song, actually. I was going to Shazam it through my headphones. Caro, can you write down the name of that song for me, please?
Okay, so this is actually Exits by Fools.
Never heard of them.
So
I don't know what
Ian,
you're
who's
saying
the content team director, they do what's called Jam of the Days.
Okay.
Every day, their volunteers publish an article. Thursday's their throwback day. And this is a new concept we're trying. I'm glad you liked it.
I do like it.
He's going to throw a couple songs at me every week. I'm going to find a song that fits into our theme, you know, the feel, the vibe of the show, and we're going to use it. So shout out to the content team. Shout out to Ian. And then there's a person who wrote the article. I'm going to look into that. We're going to shout you at the very end as well. But yeah, that's Exits by Fools. I can tell you that after the show as well. But
I love it. I don't just like it. I love it.
I'm glad. And that was, for me, that was a great segment, first off. And second off, this was one of the things I wanted to improve the show even more by introducing new and interesting elements that, you know, our past co-hosts have already done for us. And, you know, I was really happy that both of you guys enjoyed this segment, and then we continue doing this on a weekly basis. And, you know, shout out to you, Rabinowitz, for that comment. It did kind of stay with me. I was kind of
Yay.
excited about that.
Love
so.
to spread the joy and happiness and love and friendship and kindness and all of those things.
and I love it. I absolutely love it. Couple episodes later, 95, the new concepts continue, this time from you guys. You guys remember when you guys did the What's on Your Mind segment?
Yes. What's
Yeah.
on your mind, brother?
Take a listen to this one.
Okay, so here's the thing. We didn't know what to name this segment. We've called it the What's on Your Mind because there's some things. Listen, folks, we're an MSU radio station. That's people.
Of course.
People forget that, but we are.
We are.
We are. So there's other things happening in the sports world, clearly in the city of Detroit, you know,
Mhm.
and the national scale that we don't get to talk about as much, and we only have an hour here, so we try to fit it all in. So I guess we're going to use this time, if y'all don't mind, to hash out a couple things that are on our minds.
And, you know, what's funny is we did this segment. It worked out really well. We haven't done it since.
Well, you know, I've been gone for a couple episodes.
Yeah.
I haven't really been able to do a regular show. in
Yeah,
a hot minute,
and that was exactly what I was going to say. Julian's been gone, and he's been traveling all over the country.
So it sounds like Julian took the complete blame for that, and I'll allow it.
But I
might
think, hey,
be
you know what?
completely his fault.
I think you guys should bring this up in the near future. I think you guys should bring it back up because this was a great segment. I enjoyed it. Nothing scripted. You guys kind of talk about it. It's like 10 and 10, but better.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that.
You know what I mean? 10 and 10 better. That's how we're going to brand it. 10 and 10, but better.
Right.
And finally, a couple episodes ago, Ryan, I told you before this 100th episode started, this crappy opening that you did. Come on, man. Come
love
on, man.
the opening.
I hadn't mentioned it. Come on, please don't do this. Please don't do something like this again.
Top of the morning to you, lads. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you for listening to the Green and White Report today during your festivities. What's with the look already?
I'm absolutely disgusted by that opening.
Why?
Top of the morning.
I've been thinking about that for 2 days.
Yeah.
I've been ready to go.
Ready to roll.
Ready to roll. 11 a.m. hour, Green and White Report, per usual, every Sunday. We're here. Ryan Rabinowitz alongside Ryan Collins for the second week in a row. Wow.
Taking your spot, Julian.
Stay
Watch
hot,
out.
Collins.
Watch out.
Stay hot.
Watch out, Julian.
Julian and I did not have a falling out. At least I don't think so.
And, I mean, this was, for me, first off, come on, Ryan. Come on.
I thought it was good.
If Collins is disgusted by the opening.
Collins is disgusted by everything. Nothing pleases Collins.
I just have like 2 points on that. One, if Collins thinks he can take my spot, he's crazy.
Oh, he's
out of
crazy.
his
You guys
mind.
should rap battle for the chair.
Yo, I will drop
I'd
him.
be on your side. I would not support
That wouldn't
Ryan
even be a
Collins in
rap
that.
battle. That'd be like Eminem versus Papa Doc in the end of 8 Mile. Like, he wouldn't even say anything. He wouldn't. Second thing.
Yes.
That opening only happens after you pull yourself off the floor of Rick's and stumble into Holden Hall and hit a top of the morning. That is where that comes from.
I don't know, but I have no comment on that. I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. But
Boy.
I thought it was a good idea. It was St. Patrick's Day. Clearly not. I can't satisfy anyone with my openings. Julia misses my seductive Good Morning East Lansing.
I miss it too,
I
okay?
don't like it at all. Who knows?
Good morning, East Lansing.
I'll figure it out eventually.
And I mean, luckily, you and Julian, Ryan, Rabinowitz, you and Julian, you guys did not have a falling apart.
Yes.
As Julian's proudly back in the chair behind the mic.
Yes.
And that's where he's supposed to be. And as I miss seeing him for the past 3 weeks, it's been forever since Julian's been behind that mic, and I'm glad he's behind that mic on the 100th episode. So that was a quick stroll. I'm glad you're back, man. I missed you. A quick stroll down memory lane for us. 100 episodes down, many more to come. First started back in the spring of 2017. 2 years later, Ryan Rabinowitz, Julian Mitchell, and I myself, Hikaru Kuda, as a producer. The three of us stand here, continuing a piece of history at Impact 89 FF WDBM.
Wow, that was wonderful. That was like a movie trailer.
Yeah.
It's like the synopsis you read on IMDb before going to the movie.
Hey, I got a little bit more. I got a little bit more, Julie.
Keep rolling.
And I think I'm talking for all three of us. And even though I'm the newest one of the gang, I just got this producer gig, in December, and I'm the newest one of the gang, that we're all honored to be part of such an important show here in the Michigan State community at Impact, and an important part to so many guys' lives that's really changed them in their collegiate experience. And I know it's changing it for you, Ryan, and for you, Julian, and for myself. This is what we know as Sundays as. We wake up every Sunday, we come in and we do this show, and the three of us are kind of together. It's your show. I just kind of do the buttons behind the scenes, and and I'm for me, it's a blessing that I get to work with two phenomenal gentlemen like you guys. And when you guys leave, evidently in a couple, a year and so, or however long it is, it's gonna be painful for me, because you guys really do leave an impact for me and for our listeners, and as well. And I hope the next 100 will be better than the first, and all three of us can leave a legacy here that will last a lifetime. Because I remember Ryan Cole telling me when he left, and him and I, we talked one-on-one. He was telling me, Impact is baby. He left a legacy here, and he told me to do the same. And I hope you guys do the same as well. I mean, it was just, it's
yes. I appreciate the kind words. We are grateful for you, Hikaru, for making us sound so good, because I don't know how to get the mics to work and stuff. So without you, this would literally not happen.
This would not work. We'd just be two dudes talking into microphones that don't work on Sunday mornings.
Well,
it's awkward and weird.
I appreciate it. I just come in and make sure you guys can do the show you guys want to do, and have the guests you guys can have, and have the greatest, Green and White Report episode we could possibly do. But real quick, before we wrap this section up, and before we officially wrap this episode up, Ryan, Julian, any thoughts on the past 100 episodes?
Going back through the tapes, I think it's been a good 100 episodes. I'm proud of where this show has come from and where we're going. And like you said, I think it's going to be an even better 100 if we make it there. That'd be sick. Maybe we'll come back for episode 200.
It seems like I have this thought in my mind of episode 200 is like we're walking in with like canes and we're just like really old. But I think that's like realistically like a year or two from now, I feel like, or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. We do a lot of episodes. That's the thing. These things fly by.
Yeah.
I think I went back. We started, I believe, on episode 70.
Really?
You and I, yeah.
So you've done 30 episodes?
I really wanted to be episode 69, but it was episode 70.
Get your mind out of the gutter. Here's the next 100.
Exactly. Here's to the next 100, folks.
There you go.
And I'm telling you,
we only got water in the studio.
I remember when Davey said in episode 60-something, that he feels like time's been flying by. Man, time is ridiculous. Been flying by on this show. It's crazy. I remember the first day I walked in this door, sat behind the glass, wishing I was running the boards, and I did now. I remember Ryan telling me the first day I met him back in here at Impact, and he's like, "Oh, I remember the first day, man. I just walked in, did nothing. Little did I know I'm going to be a co-host for it." And I remember Julian telling me all these things that he's now on this show passionate about. So for me, it was an honor. It was a blessing to be able to spend my time, do the segment for you guys, allow me to be on the show for a good 15, 20 minutes or so to reflect back on these great moments. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, I just thank both of you guys and all of the other co-hosts and Brendan Wilner, the producer before myself, for giving me this phenomenal opportunity here at Impact.
Yeah, well, we thank you, man.
Thank you, Carl.
Stay blessed.
Thank you. Stay blessed.
That's the biggest key that we've taken from all of this.
And with that being said, Ryan Rabinowitz, I know you wrapped it up once today. You want to wrap it up for us one more time? Because, I never get old of it.
Yes, I never get tired of it. That is episode 100 in the books. Ryan Rabinowitz, Julian Mitchell, Hikaru Kudo. Here's the next 100, folks. Thank you, as always, for listening. Thank you to those who have come before, and to those who will come after. You got some big shoes to fill, because we ain't done yet. Green and White Report. We'll see you next week.
You have been listening to the Green and White Report on WDBM. For all your sports news and notes, go to impact89fm.org/sports.